Hello, my friend. Welcome to the What's Up in Makeup weekly chat here on YouTube. If you've never met me before, my name is Jen, and you're on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. Really excited for today's chat. We have something really interesting to talk about today. James Charles came out with his show called Instant Influencer, and I'm excited to discuss it with you. I watched the remainder of it late last night on double speed to get because I had to go to bed because I was finishing editing What's Up in Makeup, my makeup news show that went live just before this. I was finishing editing that up, and then I watched Instant Influencer. And I've got some opinions on what I think of the new reality show. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. And that was the only topic that I have planned for today. So after that, we'll just pop topics. We can keep talking about Instant Influencer, or we can talk about whatever people that are here in the live chat. They're over there for you. They're over there for me. We can talk about whatever y'all want to talk about after that. We can just pop topics. So speaking of the people that are here live, in the collective brain of makeup awesomeness, I want to get their opinion on things too. I'm going to say hello to them very quickly. Hello to you, Lola Punk. Good to see you. Nanner Danner. Good to see you. Alyssa and Yemalex and Britta. All things houseplants. Good morning to you. Amber and Mander Jack is here. Is it puppy time yet? Not yet, Mander Jack. S. Jackson in the house. Good to see you. Kate and my friend Nancy is here that I miss with all my soul. Nancy, it's so good to see you here. Nick and Kelly are here. Maybe just Nick, maybe just Kelly. But Nick and Kelly's account is here. And if I did not say good morning to you, good morning to you. I want to go ahead and jump in. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so... everything? Okay. All right. Sorry. My husband came down the steps and I wasn't sure why, but it looks like we're good. Okay. So he's going to kind of mess with the settings a little bit and try to... I don't know what was going on okay, let's just keep going. Huh?
Didn't have ring light.
Oh, okay, cool. So what I wanted to do was kind of flip through Instant Influencer with you and just kind of talk about it. We are going to be doing some spoilers. So if you are not interested in spoilers for the first episode, maybe go watch it and then come back. But I want to be able to talk about it. Whoa, I'm all blown out. Looks like I look very blown out. Okay.
No, you just were for a second. You're not anymore.
Okay, cool. All right, so let me go ahead and switch over and we'll just talk a little bit about it. Well, first off, let me just tell you what it is. So he's doing this with YouTube, with YouTube. It's a collaboration with YouTube to do this show. So it's very, very professionally produced. It looks like a reality show you might watch on a network television show. I mean, it is very professionally produced. It looks fantastic. So he asked people to submit to be a part of the show. He ended up picking 6 people. And then they all came out to California. I think some of them live in California. Some of them flew out to California for the show. And they were supposed to show up in different looks that represented them. So let me go ahead and fast forward a little bit. And it kind of gives you a little... they give you like a little a little bio on each person. I'm just going to flip over. So these were the looks that they came in with, and forgive me, I don't have all their names memorized yet, but I thought that they all did a really nice job doing something interesting, and you know what, the only one I disagreed with that I think James was a little too hard on was the guy on the right, and I'm so sorry, I can't remember his name right now, but what he did was he has this mask on, and then he revealed it to show, oh, hold on, that's a close-up of the guy on the left. Hold on. Look how cool these are. I mean, just really neat. Look, there we go. So he revealed it to show this flower. Oh, man. There it is. This flower underneath. And it's just so beautifully done. And I got it. And I just felt like, I don't know. I felt like James was a little too hard on him. I thought it was a beautiful, beautiful look. This one was actually my favorite. I thought he did a fantastic job. Yeah, so that was kind of my only thing in the beginning that I didn't agree with. I agreed with pretty much everything else he gave as far as critiques. Not that I'm like the ultimate in giving, critiques. I mean, there's a reason why he has the show. But yeah, that was the only thing I disagree with. I thought he did a really great job critiquing their looks, and I agreed with what he said. So I'm just going to go ahead and flip back over and see what y'all think. Every time I flip over, there's a little bit of an echo. So I'm going to go ahead, flip back over. Christian, but I think he said Indigo. Indigo is what he's going by now, is Indigo. I think his real name is Christian, and then his stage name is Indigo. But I just thought it was such a beautiful, beautiful look, and that one was definitely my favorite. Technically, Tracy says not interested in the show or anything that he's putting out, but I'm here for the chat. Okay, I mean, I think everyone's going to have all their different opinions on things. I don't want this to be like a super negative space. I just want to talk about the show. So I'm trying to be a little more positive, but I can understand that there are certain people that aren't going to watch it, and that's okay. We need to spend our time doing things that we enjoy. So anyway, so the beginning of it was him critiquing these looks, and then he gave them a challenge. And the challenge was that they were supposed to go into the Ulta beauty room. It was like a room that was, I guess, sponsored by Ulta, and they had all these different stations of different brands, and they were supposed to pick a product, and it was supposed to be a reveal of that product. So I don't know how it was explained to the contestants. It was explained more than what James said on camera, but I felt like maybe some of them didn't quite get it, that it was supposed to be like a product launch situation. I'm not sure if they quite got that, because some of them didn't do their videos like it was a product launch. It was more of like just like a general, let me show you how to use this product kind of situation. But this kind of caught me off guard a little bit, because I felt like it was really, okay, let me see, how do I say this? The way that they presented it. Well, let me see if I can get to the, let's just play a little clip.
I think I got this in the bag.
Hold on. Fast forward.
So I don't
also want to buy your product too. Ashley and creative director of Anastasia Beverly Hills, Norvina, will be here today.
Hold on. It's coming.
I love Norvina, and I love
Oh my God.
Wait, hold on.
Hilton is here.
Oh yeah, Paris
I
Hilton
can't
was there.
breathe.
So you guys need to make sure Norvina and Paris also want to buy your product too.
Okay. So I'm just going to play that little part because I don't know where the exact spot is. Hold on. Let me switch back over. So it was all about selling a product. And like, this is where I was kind of like, it gave me the icks. Because I don't see, I guess maybe I just have a, rose-colored glasses view of what an influencer is. But I see an influencer as somebody that, gives honest reviews and is all about reviewing products and giving information to the viewer, rather than someone who is trying to convince people to buy something. But now thinking about it, it's like, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, if you think about it, it makes more sense to have James's definition of an influencer, that you're trying to influence people to buy things. But it's like, I never really took it that way. So I don't know. It was this whole next section was all about that they were going to try to sell a product and how important that was to being an influencer, to be able to sell products. I was like, okay, I didn't realize that was what being an influencer was. But it makes sense. It makes sense. Arabelle, thank you for the super chat. She says, I've enjoyed your content during these difficult times. And thank you so much. S. Jackson, you're amazing. Thank you so much. She says, thank you for all you do, keeping me informed and sane and entertained during this crazy time. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. But yeah, okay, so Norvina comes on, and it makes sense that she would be all about the selling portion of it. Like, it makes perfect sense because she's a brand owner. And of course, when she does product launches, she's trying to sell a product. Like, it makes perfect sense. I don't know. It gave me the icks a little bit. Am I explaining that like the way I think I want to explain it? I hope that I am. I took some notes last night. I just said I just didn't love the focus on selling, especially from Norvina, even though it makes sense. And that might be why I'm not on Norvina's PR, because maybe that's just what she looks for in an influencer, is someone that can sell the product, which makes sense as a brand. It makes sense, but that's not me, right? It says, I loved how she talked about that they needed to explain the product more. So what happened was they all created videos, and then they reviewed the videos. And a lot of the critique was that they didn't really explain the product to the viewer. They didn't explain how to use it, why to use it, what made this product special, all of those things. Like, it wasn't a good commercial for the product. And then I'm sitting there still thinking, like, do we do commercials? Is that what we do? Like, is that what we do? Like, I don't know. I mean, and then the more I thought about it, and I was like, but the people that are at the top, the people that are the biggest influencers do. They absolutely 100% do. It's like, well, I guess that makes sense then. But I thought people didn't like that. But then if you think about it, that's what's at the top is the people that do sell like that. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of like, I go back and forth with it. I'm still thinking out loud. So anyway, so the other note that I put on here was it kind of reminded me of, if you saw the Kathleen Lights breakdown video that I did where we were talking about Lumiere 2 when she released that. She was like, she basically says in the video, without being mean about it, that she doesn't really like ColourPop's liquid lipstick formula. But she released a liquid lipstick with ColourPop. She's basically like, well, they've been improving on the formula, but I still wear a base underneath it. And how well did Lumiere 2 sell? I'm pretty sure it sold pretty well, and she was still honest about it. So I don't know. It gave me a little bit of the icks. That's all. But I get it. I totally get it. Oh my gosh, Angela, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Thank you for the very generous super chat. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. That will be very, very helpful. I appreciate you so much. Tiffany says, that's a problem with trying to make YouTubers salespeople. People already don't trust most advertising. That's true. And I think that it creates this weird, I don't know if dichotomy is the correct word for it, but where we're developing a relationship with an influencer, right? And we're seeing them as another person and we're seeing them, but then they're trying to sell us something that maybe we don't need or don't want, or maybe they're not telling us all the details of it. So we're trying to trust this person as someone that we can connect with, but at the same time, they're selling us stuff. And it creates this weird, I don't know if dichotomy is the right word or not, but it's like conflicting. And I guess I knew all of this, but I never was able to really articulate it until now. That's kind of the big problem with YouTube influencers. But it's not a problem because you look how successful the influencers that do this are. So apparently it's not a problem, right? Is it a problem? Is it not a problem? I don't know. Yeah, Kidda says that's not what all influencers do, just people like James. But look at how successful James is though. So if people want to be successful as influencers, right? Like he's doing on the show, because that's the whole point of the show. The whole point of the show is to teach them how to be influencers. So to be a successful influencer like James, like other people that are very successful, you have to be able to sell product. I mean, look at the biggest influencers. It's all, that's just, sorry, I was reading something, I got distracted. That's just kind of the way it goes. I don't know. Yeah, Isabel says it depends on the content the YouTubers want to create. Absolutely. Yeah. Odd Mama, I can imagine James' audience is told something is great and they run out without further knowledge and research. Oh, well, 100%. But I think a lot of people do that, whether it's James's viewers, my viewers, a lot of people's viewers. S. Jackson, honesty is key. If you say one video, you hate something, and then you promote it a few months later, I don't buy it. Yeah, that makes sense. 100%. And I've seen that happen. Totally. And I've seen it the opposite. I think I told this story a long time ago. I was watching a influencer that I really liked, and I ended up buying, I think it was like a self-tanning product that they recommended. They said it was amazing, blah, blah, blah. And I bought it, and it was like patchy and it wore down really weird, and I didn't like it at all. And then a few months later, she reviewed the self-tanner. It was like in like a monthly favorites or something. And then she was like, I don't really like this. I was like, wait a minute, what? I thought the reason why I bought it was because you did a review on it and you told me it was good. And then I looked back and it was like all these affiliate links and stuff for this self-tanning brand in the video description. I mean, this was many years ago. So, I'm with you. It happens, right? Sarah says, if I want to see how the product works, I'll go to YouTube. If I want to read a review, I'll look directly on the website. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Hopefully you watch my reviews. I hope. My career is dying as I speak. Dark Angel says, influencers that are more honest give honest reviews. Influencers that are just around to keep the brands happy are the sellers. They are the top because the brands keep them there. I think that's a really good point, Dark Angel, because it's a reciprocal relationship between the brand and the influencer, in that the influencer sells the product and the brand that is making the product promotes the influencer, and they go back and forth. So the people that you see in the forefront of the brand advertisements, the brand websites, are the influencers that are doing the best at selling. So if you're doing a good job at selling, the brand promotes you, you grow bigger because the brand promoted you, so therefore you can sell more product so that the brand makes more money so that they promote you more, and it just goes like that. And I think the only way that we could ever break out of that cycle would be if viewers didn't do that. But I mean, I don't know. I think that viewers have other things going on in their lives and that's not really necessarily a priority, you know? Like, I think for some people it is, but for other people, they just watch what pops up and who they like personally, and it's not necessarily that deep, you know? Yeah, BBQ Menchie says, I wonder when the line started to blur from when YouTubers went from beauty gurus to influencers. Yeah, I think it started when there started being affiliate codes. I think that's when it started. That when YouTubers started being able to make money from promoting brands. That's when I think it started. So, but anyway, just back to hey, here we go. Here you go. Molly says, I try to follow influencers that are honest. That's why I love Raw Beauty Christie. She does honest reviews on products. 100%, Molly. Thank you so much for the super chat. And I do think that there are people like Christy and Samantha Ravindal and other people that are just wonderful reviewers and also have a larger following. I think Kathleen Lights is another person that is very honest in her reviews and has a wonderful following. So I mean, you know, a very large following. I think it's possible, but I think it's a heck of a lot harder if you don't have the brands pushing you. And the only way to get brands pushing you is to promote their products, whether they're good or not, you know, and never to say anything negative about them. But then I see people that have smaller platforms that really push product. I mean, they're smaller YouTubers, they push product, they're constantly saying how amazing everything is, and brands don't promote them, and I don't understand why. It's like they're doing everything right. They're doing a great job talent-wise. They're talented and they're beautiful and they're all of the things. And some people I don't understand. Maybe they don't have that captivating personality that brings the audience in as well. It's not a profession, I guess you could call it, that everyone is right for. You know, not everybody can pull it off. You know, I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I think it's absolutely fascinating. Hi, Claudia. Chrissy says, I know I say this every week, but I love Teresa's Dead. She's smaller. She's so honest. Teresa's Dead is amazing. I wore my garbage person shirt yesterday. I love Teresa's Dead. She's fantastic. Absolutely. All right, let's go back to the my notes. So, I already said that I thought it was really well produced, and I love that they had Paris Hilton on. I mean, let me flip over and show you, if you didn't watch this, Paris Hilton and how amazing she looks. Like, she doesn't look like she's aged since she had her own TV show. See if I can find a shot of her before I flip over. She's in this whole, oh wait, this is when they're doing their makeup thing. Hold on. Okay, it should be in here somewhere. Hold on.
Guest judges.
Okay.
Joining us the entire season is one of my close friends, makeup legend.
Look at Paris Hilton. Look at her. She looks exactly the same as when she was on the show with Nicole Richie. She looks exactly the same. How?
She's the president and creative director of Anastasia Beverly Hills. Please welcome Norvina.
And I think it was really smart to have Norvina on. I do. I think Norvina is very, she's very into the influencer realm. I think she was a perfect choice.
Hi guys. So excited to see what you have to offer.
Our second judge needs no introduction, let's be honest. She's iconic, legendary, and totally hot. Paris Hilton.
I mean, seriously. She still looks like she's in her well, no, maybe she looks like she's gotten a little bit older, but like disproportionately young. how old she must be. I don't know how old she is, but I think she's older. I don't know if she's older than me. I don't know. But she looks really young. That's some whatever.
You guys are hot too.
It's so cute. It's so Paris Hilton. Like, it's like what you would imagine Paris Hilton would say. I love it. I absolutely love it. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I thought that the feedback that James was presenting during the show, I thought was very helpful. And even the feedback that Norvina and Paris were giving, I thought was very helpful. And I didn't think about anything that they said and go, oh, that's not quite right. You know, like nothing really struck me as being like, that's not very good advice. You know, everything they said, I was like, yeah, that's good advice, which I thought was cool. You know, I mean, I would expect that from them because they are where they are for a reason, but I thought that was cool. At the end of the show, so this is where we're going to have a spoiler. Oh, let me thank some super chats real quick. Oh, Teresa. Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you, Teresa. She said your reviews are so well researched and you're so honest. Thank you so much. Nick and Kelly, just Kelly. Nick isn't interested in makeup info. Watching content like yours has kept me sane during the craziness. Been watching you for years. You're one of the first beauty YouTubers I started watching. Stay healthy. Thank you so much, Kelly. Really appreciate that. Thank you. And then there was one more. Jessica. Jess, I love you. Thank you. That's so nice of you. All right, let me go back over. So this is where the spoiler is going to come in. So if you don't want a spoiler. So what they do, this is really cool. I love this concept. So they give them all their feedback and then they kind of deliberate. You know, this is typical format for a reality show where, you know, the contestants do their thing and then the judges do their thing and then they eliminate somebody. So they bring them all back into their little filming rooms. Where is it show? I'm trying to show where they show them all kind of in their little filming rooms. And then they eliminate them one by one.
Kaylin, you are the winner.
Thank you so much, James. I appreciate
So they do like a little video chat thing, and then they go through each one.
everything, and I am going to take all your critiques. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course, love. I am so excited to see what more you have to offer.
Okay, so she leaves, and then they go through each one. But where it kind of goes south is the person that doesn't win, okay? So she does not win. She gets eliminated.
Failure. I'm just hoping that
she's
James
so
really
sad.
sees my potential.
I really just don't want to go home.
Hold on. Okay, so what they... Oh, wait, here we go. There we go.
Hi, Brett.
So he visits them personally, okay, if they lose. He visits them personally, which I think is a nice touch. Let me flip back over to me real quick. I think it's a nice touch that he goes to visit them personally and spend some one-on-one time with them. I think that's really sweet because, of course, they're going to be disappointed. Of course, they're going to be sad. But then to have that, you know, personal connection time with James where he can compliment them and build them up, I thought that was really, really sweet. But the part that I wasn't a big fan of was right after. Oh, no, look at her face. Poor thing. Okay, so he wins. And she's crying, and she's upset, and he's hugging her.
I'm so proud of you. And I want you to keep all the positives in mind because this isn't a negative. The whole point of this is not
This is all so
for drama,
sweet.
no stupid eliminations. It's to give you guys information and resources to be better at what you do. And you're already incredible. That's the reason why you're here. And I don't want you to forget that, okay? You have to promise me.
This is so sweet.
Promise?
Yeah.
Bitch, you better promise. You're so insanely talented and you're so beautiful and your personality is
so
infectious.
nice.
I love how bubbly you are and I'm sure everybody at home will as well. And I want you to remember that, okay?
Thank you.
Before we go, I want to take this opportunity to sign off together on the show. Just like this was a regular YouTube video, okay?
So that's probably not the best call. Poor thing. She's upset, and now she has to sign off. Poor thing.
Hi, you guys. James here with Brittany, and
Look how sad she is.
we're signing off of Instant Influencer Episode 1. Britt, thank you so much for joining us here on the competition. We are so blessed and lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Just like I did, I'm sure everybody at home is going to fall in love with you. Where can they check you out if they want to see more?
At Brittany Raquel on
See, I love the shout out. I think the shout out is amazing and wonderful that they put that there, but I don't think she was ready for that. She wasn't ready for that.
YouTube and also everything else.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching.
And that's the end. So I just felt bad for her, you know, to have to like try to put a smile on after she was just eliminated from the show. I hope, I know they're not going to have this feedback because I think a lot of people agreed, you know, that this was not necessarily the best ending for it. But they're not going to get that feedback because I'm sure the show is already completely recorded. So they probably do this with everybody else. And it's really just going to depend on the emotional state of the person that's been eliminated, whether it's going to be super awkward like that. Like it was like, ooh, or maybe he felt it. Maybe they feel it after the first time and then they decide against it, or at least give the girl like some time to recover before she has to be all smart. You know, I don't know. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see what y'all say. Yeah, Flory says you can watch the show on James's channel on Fridays. Yes, and it's free. It's even though it's a YouTube show, it's free. You don't. It's just being watching his YouTube channel. Yeah, Melody says doing a video chat to eliminate is so odd and impersonal. I don't know. I thought that it was nice because I thought that the video chat wasn't eliminating. A video chat was like accepting, and then he went in it personally and went in to tell the person that they were eliminated. Shauna says, I did not like the part where they go into the filming rooms to tell them if they made it or not. Yeah. Well, it kind of reminds me of like American Idol when they have like the I don't know if they still do this. I haven't watched American Idol in forever, but they have like the 3 rooms or whatever. And then they've got group A, group B, and group C. And then they go in, they tell group A they made it. So now it's like between group B and C, and they have to go in and tell group B that they didn't make it or whatever, you know? So yeah. I just felt so sad for her, but maybe it'll get her a bunch of subscribers because people felt sad for her. I don't know. I mean, she's obviously very, very talented. So, yeah. S. Jackson says, I bet a brand will reach out to her. I hope so. I hope that she does well. Lisa says, I'm assuming it's like that for the rest of the show. We'll have to see. I'm definitely tuning into episode 2. I want to see what happens. Like, I really do feel like it was a very well-produced show. It definitely, I wouldn't have been able to tell that this wasn't on network television. That was really, those were really just the 2 things that I kind of felt a little ick about, you know, all of the pushing of the selling, that's what influencers do, even though it's probably right. In hindsight, like after processing it, it's like, and it's kind of what influencers do. It's just not what I do, but it's what influencers do. You know, I get it, but it gave me the icks a little bit. And then the ending where she had to put on a happy face after she was just eliminated. Those are the 2 things. So, Melody says, I feel like I need to do a pity subscription, but is that helpful? No, it's not. It actually does the opposite. So when you subscribe to a YouTube channel, the number of subscribers a YouTuber has, they calculate it as a ratio. This is what I have heard. Okay. I have not heard this directly from YouTube. I heard this from a third party, but it seems to correlate with the way I see things that happen with my channel, with other channels. So let's say I have 100,000 subscribers. YouTube expects me to get 10,000 views per video-ish. So between 8 and 12,000 views per video if I have 100,000 subscribers. So if I am not getting 10,000 views, between 8 and 12,000 views, YouTube's like, ugh, their audience isn't really watching and it isn't necessarily promoted as much. That's why you see YouTubers that have a large platform, maybe 1 million subscribers, and they don't do videos for a year, and then they come back and they have low numbers. It's because it's not feeding to the algorithm. So what happens is if you go over and pity subscribe to her, but you never watch any of her stuff, it actually hurts her in the long run. Like if you... In my opinion, this is what I would love. I wish that YouTube had a button where we could just clear out people that don't watch. Like, I would rather have my subscriber number go down and actually have an accurate count of how many people watch my channel. Like, I wish I could just scrub people out. People that haven't watched my channel in 5 years, I wish I could just unsubscribe them all, you know? So my number could be more accurate. Because I've had this channel for, 7 years. So I know there's tons of subscribers that aren't watching. And it falsely inflates my subscriber number, and then my ratio's off of what I should be getting. So, but yeah, pity subscribing is not good. Don't do that. It doesn't help them. Mander Jack, oh, thank you, Mander Jack. I personally don't really don't like reality TV, but if you did one, what would you do? I'd watch it. Oh, I don't know. I did put in an application for The Bachelor back a long time ago, many, many moons ago, way before John. I think I was like 22, maybe. I put in an application for The Bachelor. I did not get on. Thank God. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would go on reality TV. John has been asked to go on the tattoo shows. I forget which one, but what, Ink Masters, I think, but he doesn't want to because they twist your story. I mean, he's known people that have been on reality TV shows, the tattoo reality TV shows, and they twist the story around to make it more dramatic. I mean, like even in like the Instant Influencer, they kind of go on a little bit of a tangent where they talk about how the one girl talks too much, but that gave me the icks too a little bit. Let me rewind to that a little bit. I felt bad for her. Kind of flick back to her. No, her. It's her.
Kind of keep it a little more low key, but I really wanted people to know exactly who I am. I've like gone through so much in my life, and I've just been a very like vivacious person through. I feel like I want to also encourage people. Disruptive, and I'm fun, and I'm loud. No way. There's like no way. Like I'm not even worried about it. Like meh.
Okay. And then she talks about
biggest weakness in this entire competition is that I'm a rambler and I will talk for days.
Why do they?
Okay. I just felt kind of bad for her, you know, like highlight, and you know, like the way they edited it, it just, you know, it's just kind of like making fun of her a little bit. But I guess that's what they do on reality TV shows. I don't know. It just kind of made me feel a little sad. But I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I mean, they twist things when you go on reality shows, and they edit things in a certain way to make it more entertaining. And it's just, you can't really trust it when it comes down to it. Molly applied to be on The Real World back in the day. Taylor says, my tattoo artist went on Ink Master, but now she is so popular I can't see her. Aww. Kate, I don't even think it wasn't even interviews back then, because this was, you know, this would have been, if I was 22, that would have been... It was like the early seasons of The Bachelor. That would, oh my gosh. I don't even know what year that would have been. It would have been early 2000s. So it wasn't like, I just put it like in an application kind of situation for it. I did audition for Dawson's Creek though. I did. When Dawson's Creek first came out, I auditioned for Dawson's Creek when I was in high school. I had an audition tape that I sent in, a cassette tape. I sent in a VHS tape of my audition. I didn't get that either. Katie Holmes got that. Can't even imagine what that tape looked like. Actually, I might have been in early college when I auditioned for Dawson's Creek. Can't remember. But yeah, Teresa says, I felt bad for her. I know how she feels. I'm the same way. They made it look like she's a rude person, kind of. Yeah, I mean, like, or like self-absorbed or whatever. Like, I don't want to be represented to millions of people that way. You know? Michelle says, you're too nice to go on The Bachelor. I haven't watched The Bachelor since I met John. Because it was like, I don't know, like when I was looking for my Prince Charming, it was interesting to watch. But then when I found him, it was like, meh, I don't need to watch this anymore. So Isabel says editing is everything. 100%. Yeah. And Abra says, Abra? I'm going to say Abra. Yeah, that editing manipulates the drama so much. Oh, totally. Totally. And I felt bad. Ashton, we show you my Dawson's Creek audition. I have no idea where it is. Actually, I might not even have a copy of it because I just sent the VHS tape in. I don't even think I have it because I sent it in. Yeah. I didn't get it though. Don't bow. Joey's like, I bow at your feet. Don't do that. I didn't get it. I didn't even get a call. Probably wasn't very good. All right, let's go ahead and take a little bit of a break. 2002. So I must have auditioned in like 2003 then. Because I met John the end of 2004. No, wait. When did I meet you? 2002 to 2003 was when I met him.
End of 2003.
End of 2003 to 2004. Okay, yeah. So it must have been the year before that. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let me show you what's on my face today. Let's take a little bit of a break. So on my eyes today, let's start with eyes. Again, I've been really playing with this a lot because I have everything all in one spot and I don't have to think. So I started off in the crease with these two shades. I find that these are the ones I'm reaching for the most, is this row right here from the Makeup Geek. This is PR from the Makeup Geek Matrix system. So Beach Please is the lighter one, and then Latte as usual is the one that's a little bit deeper. Those are the two I find myself reaching for the most. I mean, these are shades you probably, I mean, if you have natural palettes, then you probably have a lot of these, but it's nice to have them all in one place. So I'm thankful to have this. And then on my lid, I have this from CoverGirl. This was also PR. This is the Exhibitionist. What are these things called? It's number 1. It's their like Stila liquid shadow thingies. And it's really beautiful. Let me just kind of do a full swatch. But I thought that would be pretty on my lids today, so I did that. And then on my lower lash line, I dipped back into this Sigma Corda Rosa palette. I've really been loving playing with this. And I used a little bit of Campfire on my lower lash line, and it was a little too like peachish, and I didn't want my under eyes, like lower lash line, to look bloody, so I used a little bit of Bare Root to kind of solidify it so eyelids didn't look bloody. And then, this was PR as well. And then cheeks today. This was purchased. This is the Uma Beauty contour stick that I got for that Ulta video I did before Ulta closed because of things. But I didn't like this at first. I was using a stippling brush, was not liking it. And then I started using it with just a regular, more dense blush brush, and I really like it a lot for contouring. The highlight is very subtle. It's not very bold, but that's okay. It's just a different kind of situation, but the contour I've really, really been loving. So there's that, and this is in the shade 3. And then I also got my first PR package from M Cosmetics. So excited to try more of their stuff. So on my cheeks, I have Faded Clementine. This is called Heaven's Glow, and it looks like it's a highlight, but it's actually a blush. Let me see if I can. It's like a coral. Hopefully you can see it. It's like a rusty coral kind of shade. It's really beautiful. Enjoyed using that. Nice build on that. Today's the first day I've used it. And I've used these before. These are the Lip Clouds by M Cosmetics. They're pretty much exactly the same if you've ever tried the Bare Minerals Gen Nude liquid lipsticks. They're almost identical. Almost identical. This is in Morning Mocha. It smells like chocolate pudding, just like the the Bare Minerals Gen Nudes, and the shade is beautiful. That's just all I have on my lips today. It's absolutely beautiful, and I really love these. They're extremely comfortable. I do feel like this one dries, like the old ones that I had, I didn't feel like they dried down, the ones that I got from when they originally launched the original Lip Clouds, but this has dried down a lot. Like, I barely have any transfer, which is weird because, like, I remember these transferring because the Bare Minerals Gen Nudes transfer. And I remember these transferring, but this is not transferring, and it's definitely dried down quite a bit. I can feel a little bit of tightness on my lips. They're not quite as liquid, like lipsticky. They're a little more liquid lipsticky than I remember, but they're not uncomfortable in any way. I don't feel tight. I don't feel like my lips are going to flake. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really curious to use these more because they may have changed it, or maybe my memory isn't serving me right. If you've tried the Lip Clouds from M Cosmetics, you'll have to tell me what you think. But that's pretty much what's on my face today. I'm going to thank a couple of super chats real quick. Let me just make sure I got them all because I want to make sure. Okay. I did Mander Jack, I did. And then let's go over to Jocelyn. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And, Jocelyn again. Yep, same Jocelyn. Nice. She says, "What did you think about James telling her she was not confident enough? By the way, love your content always, and love how you're fair to everyone." Well, thank you so much. I think that was true, though. I think that she, seemed like she was a little more timid. Like well, hold on a minute. Are we talking about the same person? Because I remember. Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to remember. Yes. He did tell her that he didn't feel like she was confident enough. He also told another woman that she said she was excited, and then she wasn't really excited, like didn't really show that emotion. So I thought it was good feedback. I did. I don't know. Because even if you're not confident, you have to like pretend you are. If you're going to be on camera, you have to like even when I'm feeling bad and if I have to film, I have to turn it on. Like I have to put that aside and like I used to tell my students, you take whatever is going on, whatever you're upset about, whatever you're feeling bad about, you pick it up, you take it off the shelf and you put it over on the side. Like you have to put your game face on You know, it's like if you're going to work and you're waiting tables or you're working at a retail store and you're having a bad day, you can't let that interfere with you doing your job. You can't go off on a customer. You can't, you know, if you're waiting tables, you can't just go at slow speed because you're just feeling sad. You have to pick it up and go. You have to do your job. So I can see that. I didn't think it was a bad thing. Shauna, hi Shauna. Shauna says, hey Jen, my grown kids have been too many taping of Ink Masters. Message me if John wants to know what happens behind the scenes, like Dave Navarro is a jerk. Oh, interesting. Nah, I don't think he cares that much, to be honest. He's not really like, you know, he doesn't care, honestly. Like it's just, you know, it is what it is. You know, the reality shows, they're reality shows. They're not reality. They're shows. They're shows that pretend to be reality, but they're really not when it comes down to it. All right, so we can keep talking about, we got 20 minutes left, so we can keep talking about Instant Influencer if you have things that you want to talk about, or we can flip to something else. I saw Jaclyn Hill uploaded a video. I think it's great that she's uploading more videos. I think it's wonderful. I didn't watch the whole thing, I have to be honest. I only watched about half of it, but I was happy to see that she's uploading. It's always nice to see people kind of getting back into the swing of things, you know, when they go away for a while and come back. But that was nice. Vicky says, I think James is too confident. I don't know. I think that he comes off that way, that he's very confident. Who knows how he really is. I don't know though. I'm not sure. Person says you must miss teaching. I do. I miss the kids. I miss the actual physical teaching part a lot. Yeah, Melody says it would be so hard to be confident in that situation, intimidating. These are young people. I hurt seeing how nervous they all were. It's good, but my kids are there. It's good, but my kids are there and you have to let them fly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. And they're all very young. They're all very young. They all are definitely, I'm pretty sure, in their 20s. So early 20s, it seems. Yeah, Kate says esthetician rule number 1, leave your home life at the door. You have to. And I think that's the way most jobs are. S. Jackson, if you haven't watched Jen's video on teaching and transition to YouTube, must watch. Thank you. Katie wants to know the new Jeffree Star controversy. I'm not going to get into that. I have not been looking into it. I haven't been watching things about it. It makes me want to vomit. And having kids, it bothers me a lot. So I have been trying to avoid learning more about that. Usually I try to kind of stay clued into what's happening with other influencers and things, or if I'm not, I don't even know if I'm an influencer, other people in the beauty space, other beauty video creators, but that one I'm trying to stay away from because I just can't. I can't. Grace says Jaclyn's video was really enjoyable. She's a great teacher and she's does best when she puts out this type of content. Yeah, she is a really good teacher. I will definitely give her credit for that. Like when she teaches, like she's really good at teaching makeup, like really good. I think it would be cool if Jaclyn did like some kind of beauty school kind of situation where she, started a school for makeup artists or whatever. I don't know, for makeup artists or even for like the average layperson to learn how to do makeup, or taught classes and things, because she is really good. She's really good. Yeah, Betsy says, we never know how celebs are just meeting them briefly. They're humans who have had bad days and things going on just like us. To be judged nonstop for being human would make anyone aggravated. Oh, 100%. Absolutely. Katie said Hannah from Smoky Glow did a great video on her reaction to this episode. I saw that existed, but I watched the video so late last night that I didn't get to watch it yet. Oh, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. Kiki's Heart 23. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. That's so nice of you. Trying to find something that I know about. If you guys want to talk about Jeffree Star drama, I'm sure you can search it for drama channels. They have all the information on it. I'm not going into it here. Kidda says, I was a preschool teacher for several years. I couldn't take it anymore when I saw them in a bad situation at home. So now I'm staying home with my first grandchild, a 4-month-old baby boy named Amadeo. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, honestly, like if you want to know the hardest jobs, in my opinion, the hardest jobs in any school setting are preschool and kindergarten. Those are the hardest jobs. Like I would never trade my job as a 4th, 5th grade teacher for kindergarten any day. Like kindergarten is hard, like no joke. Like it's like whack-a-mole, like trying to keep them engaged and trying to get them to learn, and all the like you don't know who's going to walk in your door the first day of kindergarten. Like you don't, like unless they went to a preschool that was at your school, you don't know what their levels are going to be. You could have kids that have absolutely zero, most kindergartens do have zero exposure to any academic knowledge, and then you have kids where their parents have just been teaching them as much academic stuff as they could from the womb, you know, and you have this huge range, and then you have to keep their attention and you have to differentiate, and there's so many of them. A lot of kindergarten teachers have an aide that like can help and do things, but it's so hard. It's so hard. Hardest job ever. I don't know Shallon Lester. I saw that Hannah put up a video about Shallon Lester. I watched the first few minutes of it, and then I got distracted and started working and never watched the rest of it. But I do plan on watching it. I don't know who she is, to be honest. But I'll watch Hannah's video and learn a little more. I've gotten all my friends are watching Supernatural now. Season 8 of Supernatural, Shauna's watching. I love Dean, and she's Team Sam. Oh, I love them both. I love that show. This last season is drug on and on and on, though. Oh my goodness. Crystal says P. Louise got her house broken into. Oh my gosh. Apparently Dustin put up a video. I haven't seen that either. Elizabeth, I miss teaching all the time. I do really love doing YouTube full time though. It's definitely the best job I've ever had. I like being my own boss. I like doing my own thing. And a lot of times with teaching, one of my downfalls is that I sometimes got a little too creative, where like I had the objectives, like I was teaching the objectives, but I wanted to do it in my own way that I thought was personalized for the kids, like based on their interest in things. And sometimes I got in trouble for that because I wasn't teaching it from the book. I was teaching the concept the way I thought my students would get it. And sometimes I would they didn't like that. They wanted me to teach it from the book. So yeah. Didn't matter. My test scores were high. It doesn't matter. As long as you guys got to teach it from the book, whether you want to or not. So with YouTube, I can do whatever I want, which I love. But at the same time with YouTube, it's like, you know, knowing what to film sometimes and knowing what you all want to watch is sometimes kind of difficult. So let's see. I'm trying to find something that I know how to talk about. Yeah, Kimberly says she likes Misha Collins from Supernatural, the guy who plays Castiel. They had to stop filming because of the virus. They had to stop filming. Yep. Clara, you know, I used to watch Charmed. I did. I watched Charmed a little bit back in the day, and I tried to rewatch it, and it was so cheesy, I couldn't even take it. Like, it did not age well at all. At least the first episodes of Charmed did not age well, so I just stopped watching it. But I did watch it back a long time ago. Claire, first grade. I really liked first grade. First grade is easier than kindergarten. It's still challenging, but it's easier than kindergarten. Kindergarten is the hardest thing ever. But I did like teaching first grade. I never taught first grade on my own, but as an inclusion teacher, I went into a lot of first grade classrooms and worked with a lot of first grade kids. Yeah, Amber says you work with special education children. There's no by the book. It's true. But I also taught general ed kids. I was a fourth grade teacher for a while, and I was still kind of pulling my individualized things into when I taught general ed, and that was when I got in trouble because I wanted to do it myself. Or they would give us a program to teach, and it was really good and I'd really like it. And then they try to switch us to something else. And I'm like, no, I'm not switching. I like this one. This one works fine. Don't fix it if it's not broken. Sandra says, I used to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it didn't hold up either. You know, I rewatched Buffy. I actually still like Buffy. I thought Buffy held up better than Charm did. But I can see where you're saying that. Like the effects, especially in the early episodes, are so cheesy. They're so cheesy. But I like all those kinds of like supernaturally kinds of television shows. I enjoy them. I didn't like the Vampire Diaries, but I liked the originals. I couldn't get into the Vampire Diaries. We're just popping around all kinds of stuff. I love talking with y'all on a Sunday. This is so nice. Afres, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you. Amy, sweet or savory? Sweet, 100%. I could eat chocolate all day long, every day. Yeah. Haley says, I give private music lessons to kindergarten age kids and I cannot imagine wrangling a whole classroom. It's hard. It's really hard. I actually, when I was going to school to be a teacher, I had a placement that I actually failed. It was a preschool placement. It was an inclusion placement. So I had kids that were significantly delayed. And then there were kids that were advanced and everything in between. I think there were like maybe 15 to 20 kids. And in the classroom, there was a general educator and a special educator. But when I was teaching, I was all on my own. And it was really hard. And they gave me like no guidance of what I was supposed to teach, like how I was supposed to do it. And then they get mad at me for not like teaching well. And it was my very first placement and I bombed. I did terrible. Like all of my observations, they're like, you just have to do better. And it's like, I don't know how to do this. Like, this is really hard. And I failed. So I had to redo it. That's the only thing I think I ever failed in school was my first placement for student teaching. Failed miserably. It was bad. Shadowless Gem, what are your favorite liquid lipsticks? My favorite liquid lipsticks are probably, well, I like different ones for different reasons. So if I had to pick, I can't pick between two brands, Dose of Colors and Ofra. Dose of Colors I really like because they dry down completely, but they're not as comfortable as the Ofra ones. The Ofra ones are a little more comfortable, but they don't dry down as well. So it's kind of like where you want to go with that. But those two brands are probably my favorites. I used to really love the Bare Minerals Gen Nude ones, and then they all went bad, all the ones that I had, because they were old and I just never repurchased them. So I don't want to say because it's been years since I've purchased them. But that was my third favorite one. And those didn't dry down like at all. So that was kind of where I always said, you know, Bare Minerals was my favorite. Bare Minerals was my favorite comfortable one. Dose of Colors was my favorite one that dried down. And Ofra was the happy medium in the middle. That's what I've always said. But I haven't tried the Bare Minerals ones in a long time. So I'm really excited to get into these M Cosmetics ones because this went on. I really liked it. I really liked putting it on today. Oh, Kidda, thank you. She said you've inspired me to just be me. Thank you. You are very welcome. And like, let me tell you how much that means to me because I went through like serious identity crisis kinds of situations as a middle school kid. Like, okay, so this is probably gonna be boring for some people, but when I was in the 7th grade, I had a group of friends and they were all 8th graders. And then when I got to 8th grade, they all graduated. And I had kind of ditched my 6th grade friends to hang out with these 8th graders. Like I didn't ditch them, but I just stopped hanging out with my friends that were my age and started hanging out with these 8th graders so that when the 8th graders graduated, I was kind of lost and went through this big identity crisis and started like pretending to be other people. Like how can I get people to like me? Well, maybe if I'm more like this person, then people will like me, you know? And I was that kid that was like sitting crying at the end of the lunch table, like just hoping someone would ask me if I was okay, like really just legit for attention, like legit. Like I just wanted people to give me attention, you know, like I did some cruddy stuff, like just trying to get attention, trying to get people to like me. And it took me a long time to recover from my 8th grade year. 9th grade, I was kind of a hot mess. 10th grade, I was kind of a hot mess. 11th grade, I started to get my stuff together. By 12th grade, I felt like I was doing better, but I really didn't feel confident in being myself until I was a good bit into my 20s. So that means a lot to me, Kittalyn, that you said I've inspired you to just be you, because I know how long it took me to feel comfortable in my own skin and feeling confident in who I am as a person. And even though the internet tries to beat it out of me, I still feel pretty confident in my own skin. I feel good about who I am as a person, but it took me a long time to get here. It took me a lot of work to get here. In the grand scheme of things, like, it doesn't seem like a long time now, but back then it felt like forever for me to like get my identity back. Just kind of, everybody goes through things in that age, you know what I mean? Like, so many people, everybody goes through things trying to find themselves, middle school, high school. I'm not trying to say I'm different than anybody, but that's just my personal experience. So, oh, Ofra's here. Hello, my love. Ofra says, thank you for your good words, Jen. You're very kind. I love you guys. Oh, that's so cool. I can't believe you're here. That's so cool. The Ofra is here. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty... Surgeon says, Jen, I can relate so hard. Absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of people, went through something similar. But yeah, Albert, the idea of crying at the cafeteria. Oh my gosh, it was like all the time. I was crying by myself. And it was like the people that were friends with me in 6th grade, they were nice enough people, but they were tired of my stuff. They were tired of me. They were tired of me crying every day and me, just wanting attention. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them for being tired of me. I was tired of me. That was the problem, Yeah, Afra says, my school years had a lot of turmoil with friendships as well. I never knew how to act around others. Exactly. And I didn't have neighbor friends that I played with or anything. I had an older brother that was 5 years older than me. So by the time I was 14, he was 19, nothing in common, nothing, nothing. So, yeah. Yep. Elizabeth says, love Ofra highlighters and Samantha Marks bronzer. Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. Sam did such a good job on her Ofra collab, didn't she? So happy for her. She did a fantastic job. Tiffany says, it's such a good feeling to be unapologetically yourself and then to have good friends accept that is awesome. Yeah, 100%. I think another thing that I never appreciated, and I think I said this on Twitter not that long ago, is that I never really internalized when somebody wanted to spend time with me that it was because they liked me and who I was. I never really took that to heart, that if somebody wants to be your friend, it's because of who you are. It's because of the person you are. And to really take that to heart and say, you know what? I have something that makes me a good friend. I have something inside of me that makes other people want to be around me. And that is something really special to be able to internalize that. And I think that I was just so focused on what other people thought and other people's feelings and other people's emotions and what other people were doing that I never really thought about how I was impacting other people. And it just took me a long time to get there, a really long time. It's hard, man. Kittalyn said, I'm 37, just now figuring out who I really am. It's a journey. It's a journey, especially if you have trauma in your past, especially if you grew up in a situation that was less than ideal. I mean, I was very lucky to have 2 loving parents, but not everybody was as lucky. Yeah, Makeup with Mia says, my brother is 8 years older than me. He was Mr. Popular, prom king, class president, etc., and everyone expected me to be like him. Yeah, that's a lot to live up to. That's a lot to live. And how do you even live up to that? Like, how? It's crazy. Yeah, Haley says, I still struggle to make and maintain friendships, but I think that's because 20s are where everyone starts going everywhere else and doing their own things. Making new friends is hard. Oh, totally. And I was really lucky in that when I was early on in my 20s, I was waiting tables, and it was a constant, swinging door of new people to become friends with. And that's how I ended up meeting my husband, was because my friend Amy is his stepsister. So, if I hadn't been waiting tables and meeting Amy, I never would have met my husband. So I had a lot of social life in my early 20s because I was waiting tables. And then when I started teaching, it was just, it's 98% women in teaching. So I got to meet a lot of women that I could be friends with. Some of them I wasn't friends with, but then a lot of them, my best friend is someone that I met teaching. So Bubbles Hill says, I always hang out with older crowd, old soul. Yeah. And I've always been, well, when I was younger, I was very much loving hanging out with younger kids. Like I loved being the oldest kid of the younger kids. And I feel like the reason why I liked hanging out with younger kids is they weren't as judgmental as the people my age. Like the kids my age were so judgmental and they were so like about what you wore and you know, what you said and who your boyfriend was if you had one, or if you had a boyfriend and which shoes you wore and all this stuff. And the kids that I hung out with, like, because I was in a group where it was a range of girls in this performance group. The kids that were in the performance group were so much more low key and easy to hang out with than the older girls that were my age. So I ended up just like hanging out with the kids. So I remember like there was like a pool party and I was like throwing this one little girl in the pool and we just had so much fun and she was like little. But I've always loved kids and hanging out with kids. But then as I got older, this is where it goes back to what Bubbles Hill was saying, I started really gravitating toward people older than me. So like my best friend she could technically be my mother. I don't want to say exactly how old she is, but she could technically be my mother. And she's my best friend. Like I as I got older and like when I was waiting tables and things like that, I tended to gravitate toward people that were older than me. It's kind of interesting. Never really got along too well with people my own age. People my age were just so mean. Not all of them, but some of them. Angie says, I'm a 47-year young grandma of 4 little girls, and it drives my mother crazy because I act like I'm still in my 20s sometimes. Hey, you know, I mean, who says you can't? Who says you can't? Oh my gosh, we're already an hour in. I got off on that history tangent, and I just completely lost it. We didn't talk about makeup. Nicole is here from Yay or Nay Nicole Skin Store. There's a 25% discount on her channel. If you go over to her channel and watch her morning skincare routine video, she has a code for you for 25% off Skin Store. So go check that out. Her video is linked under What's Up in Makeup for today, but after this video renders, I'll put it in the video description down here. Go check that out. She says hi. She's one of our reporters from What's Up in Makeup. She has a YouTube channel. Go check it out. And she's a friend of mine, good friend of mine. She says high school was the most difficult time ever for me. Oh my gosh, crazy, man, crazy. All right, Melody has to jet. I have to jet too. Thank you so much for being here in live chat. I'm working out an interview. I'm very excited. Hopefully next week. I haven't solidified with the person, but I will be posting on YouTube Community tab early this week. If we're going to do it next week, I'll be posting on YouTube Community tab soon. I have to solidify it though, but I'm excited. So stay tuned to the YouTube Community tab and also to my Twitter. It's where I'll be posting information if we're going to have an interview next week. It should be fun. But yeah. Thanks so much for being here. Mad love to you. I hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe, stay healthy, and sending you so much love. Thank you so much to everybody for the super chats this week. I appreciate it. And I will see y'all next week and for content this week. Thumbs up the video before you go. All right, mad love. Bye.